Hello, everybody. It is Saturday, the 19th of July, and I want to talk about the law, and I want to talk about the image of the beast, and I want to show you what it is we are creating out of our perceptions, mainly out of a perception of good and bad that has gone away from the truth, from the law. Now, let me just say what triggered this. Actually, I was more than triggered yesterday. I was sat here with my mouth hanging open, stunned into, are you serious? How far gone are you that you can say a thing like that? And it was Aaron Upke again, in his idiotic law of one. Yeah, and we are getting out of the third density into the fourth density, whatever that might mean. I mean, we're definitely dense on some level at the moment, increasingly dense. We do not see the truth. But it is this idea of non-judgment, yeah, that will take you to a higher level of consciousness if you follow the law of non-judgment. Do not judge. Forgive, love, whatever you do. And then he actually said, this idea that, we're all just having an experience here. This is just our experience. And if somebody is having or wanting to have the experience of being a murderer, then I will not judge that. I shall forgive him and I shall love him and I shall not judge. And that will take me to a higher level of consciousness of something, into enlightenment. And I was sat here thinking, are you serious? You do not judge the murderer. Yeah, you just forgive him and you let him be, because that is his experience. And what we've got a right to be murderers whilst we're here. As I said, we're going further and further away from the truth. And that is going away, on some level, going away from the law. We are becoming lawless. Now, the law. Let's talk about the law. To me, it is the Ten Commandments. Forget what came afterwards. The 365 hoops that Jews are supposed to jump through. Forget about that. Just the Ten Commandments. There is the law. And it was the law given to man. That is the level of man. The level of consciousness, the level of understanding that is man. God will not give you more than you can handle. But if we're given that law, that means we are able to handle it. We should be able to handle it, to stay within that law. That law is not given to the animal or the vegetative or the mineral, because they do not have the wherewithal to do it. But we should have it. We should live up to that. So people go you are restricted in this world, you're imprisoned in this world, somebody is laying the law on you, and it was the cry of the early Christians. We are no longer under the law, we are free. So before you go running with that, actually look at the law, see what it says. Yeah, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house, the wife, the servants, whatever. You shall not want it, you shall not take it from him. You should not desire it, that which belongs to somebody else. What is it you're actually disagreeing with? What is it people are disagreeing with? What is wrong? Should you kill? It's fine. Commit adultery, lie, steal, whatever. The law is just there to restrict you. It's wrong. You should be free to do whatever. Is that it? Or is there a truth within us? The truth is within you. The law is within you. Are you actually in disagreement with that? Because I'm not. I think it is good. It is right. It should stand. That law should stand for the good of all. And that's why the law was given, for the good of all, not to benefit the few, but for the good of all. Okay, there's one bit in here that nobody likes, and I don't like that either. Yeah, and that is the bit where it says, well, first of all, I am the Lord thy God. I am the Lord, this is my law. You shall have no other gods before me. Before me. But then it says, thou shalt not bow down thyself to them or serve them. For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquities of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me. I will visit the iniquities, the transgressions of the fathers unto the third and fourth generation of those that hate me, that hate my law. And that seems harsh to us. And that seems, again, like there is some God that is doing the wrong, all powerful, is punishing you, is punishing your children. Now, the law was given to Moses. Moses channeled this knowledge. But again, through his own perception. There's always a perception, our own perception, and what it is we're seeing, unless we step aside completely, and many don't. And it would have been the belief of Moses that there was something like a God, something like a being, like the old man with the beard that is holding all the strings. Yeah? That would have been his perception. And then it is that being with a beard that says, I will visit your iniquities onto the next generations. I think there was a more enlightened view of what it is we are and what it is we're in that came later, and that was the view of the Hermetics. Yeah? And what Moses was still looking at the wrath of God that will come upon you and your children, may only be cause and effect. Nothing is doing it. Nothing outside of you is doing it. It is what you are doing that will have an effect. So the principle of cause and effect says every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause. Everything happens according to law. Chance is but a name for law not recognized. There are many planes of causation, but nothing escapes the law. The law being the truth of the Creator. Again, the Ten Commandments are the reflection of the truth of the Creator. The cause. We are the cause. We are the ones doing what it is we're doing. And we are causing the effects. There's nothing out there. There's no old man out there with holding strings. We are the ones doing it. And it says there are many planes of causation. You can create an effect in the physical, by physical means, or in the spiritual. Yeah? On the level of thought, of emotion. You do not escape the law. It doesn't matter which level you're doing it on. You will not escape the law. Cause and effect will remain. and they will remain the same, unchanging. Right. So, then let's think about what it is we are doing when we put ourselves above the law, when we try to get away from the law because somehow imprisons us. It is something evil that is done to us, the knowledge of the law. But that's where we're at now. Yeah? The knowledge of the law is something evil that is imprisoning you. And we're trying to get to a higher density. We're definitely getting more dense. By saying we are on the higher vibrations. Non-judgment, forgiveness, love. Right here and now, as we are experiencing this world. Yeah? And this is being taught to you as the truth. You shall not judge. Who is putting this claptrap into the world, and for what reason? Right now, you will see the answer when you ask the correct question, and right now I would ask the question of cui bono. Who benefits? To whose benefit is that perception? And I tell you something, it is to the benefit of the murderer, of the thief, of the one that hurts you. Because that is a way by which they can escape the consequences. Because there are no consequences coming from you. You should be the law. You should be the enforcer of the law. The law should be within you, and you should speak according to it. The law of this world, and I say it might go further than that. That might be cosmic truth. That law should be within you, and you should stand in that truth. But we're not. We've been driven into non-judgment as an enlightened state. So right now, it benefits those that want to go do wrong without any consequences to themselves, to escape the law, because the law is no longer within us. There will be no comeback in this world for them, because we are sitting on a higher level of enlightenment, not judging. And it is actually, it is priceless, because this truth, and it is truth within us. You shall not steal, you shall not kill. That is truth that is within us. And the more they do it, and the more they hurt us, the more we beat ourselves up to get rid of all those negative emotions that speak against it. It's priceless. They are doing wrong and we're beating ourselves up, instead of standing in the truth. Well, that is what is happening now, and that is who's benefiting right now. But the effects on the next generations, that is what we should really think about. Because whatever our perception is, we teach that to our children, or it is being taught to our children. And it becomes the foundation, their foundation, of what it is they think they are in and what it is they think they are. And we are raising a generation or generations of lawless ones, and that is, again, it is our deviation from the law. It is our sin. We are missing the mark. It is our sin that we are passing on to the next generations, and it will have an effect there. It will create our thinking will create in the next generations. And that is not some evil God sitting somewhere doing it. It is us doing it. We are the cause. Our thinking is the cause. They will be the effect. So recognize the cause within yourself. Stop looking out there to point the finger of blame. We are being influenced. Yes, absolutely, we are being influenced. They are influencing us, definitely. But we have free will. We have understanding. We have the law within us. We can stand against it. Our truth should stand against it. We're definitely being influenced, but in the end, what is being done is our choice, is our decision. We are the ones doing it. And you do not blame the influencer. Do not blame the influencer, but your own actions. And we're raising a generation, they're becoming increasingly lawless. You can see it. What is happening around us, what is happening to the children. It is really, as Paul said, they are no longer the respecters of law. They are lovers of themselves. They do not respect the lives of others. Look what's going on in the schools. They do not respect the property of others, out looting. They are becoming increasingly lawless. Again, whilst we are sat on a higher level of enlightenment, not judging, they are our responsibility. Those children are our responsibility. We are the parents. We are creating the future through them. What are we doing? So we've come to a point of, don't judge them, pet them, love them, forgive them. Whatever they do, forgive them. Again, we raised a generation that thought that there are going to be no consequences. The law does not exist. That are entitled to do whatever they want. Then we went to the next level, saying, well, you can be whatever you like. Man, woman, cat, dog, dinosaur, it doesn't matter. Just believe and you will be. And your will shall be done, or whatever. And what now? Are we adding murderer to the list? Is that what we're going to do? You can, darling, if you feel like murdering somebody, it is your experience. I will not judge you. Really? There is a description of the devil, the beast, in the Bible. And it says he's a murderer. In him there is no truth. There is no law. There is no truth inside of the devil. And he's a liar. He was a liar from the beginning. Are we raising a generation or generations that will become the image of the beast? Where within them there will be no truth, there will be no law, there will be, my will shall be done. I shall not be held down by anything. I can do whatever I like. Are we raising the image of the beast? And that is again our iniquity, our sin, our own deviation from the law. that will show itself in the next generations. And let me say again, there's no old man with strings that is doing that. We are doing it. We are the creators of that generation. Because we have deviated. I mean, it's one thing to slightly deviate from the law. It will already cause an effect. But this thing of non-judgment and forgive the murderer, say it's okay, that's just his experience. That is not slightly deviating from the law, that's putting it on its head. We're going that far into darkness, it's unreal. We are the creators of this. We have been influenced, yes, but we should have stood firm in the knowledge of the law. We should have upheld the law. Not sit there in non-judgment and call that enlightenment. That is delusion. That is the delusion we are in. Calling non-judgment enlightenment. That is the delusion we are in, and we are creating out of that delusion a generation of lawless ones, the image of the beast. It is our sins that will be shown in the next generations. Now, last thing, and that is, again, who is bringing this into this world? Which is falsehood, which is spiritual wickedness. It is spiritual wickedness. It's done on the level of the spirit, not in the physical. The physical is the outcome that has already shown itself. So at this moment, those that want to do whatever and they don't want a law, they want to get away from any kind of comeback for themselves right now. Again, we can see it in this, not only in the families, not only in the children, but throughout the entire world. Wrongdoing everywhere and no effective law anymore that will prevent it. There is no more punishment. But that's okay, because we're sitting on a higher level of non-judgment anyway. Fine. But I would say it's very short-sighted of those that do that right now just to gratify their own desires right now. And what is it saying in Germany? It says, after me the flood, I don't care. Once I'm gone, I'm out of here. Let me do what I do, and to hell with it. To hell with the consequences. Well, there is the thought of reincarnation. There's the thought of karma, and there is the thought of reincarnation. And maybe you cannot get away from the consequences. Maybe death will not free you from the consequences. Yeah? Maybe you will have to return to face the consequences of your action. To live in the world, in the future world that you have created now. Again, what we are experiencing now could be the karma of previous lifetimes. Again, no God doing us it. We've created this. We are living in the consequences of our own doing. Again, let's try to think about what it is we are doing. There is this thought that you do not have to return. Again, you have free will. But maybe it is only through facing the consequences of your actions that you will grow into true enlightenment. That would be true enlightenment. The knowledge of right and wrong, That would be a true higher level of consciousness. And maybe you can only reach that level by confronting your sin and working a correction. And maybe for that you have to return here. So yeah, it would be maybe short-sighted thinking. To hell with the consequences. One day I'm out of here and whatever happens after me is no business of mine. That might be a wrong thing. So to really reach a higher level of consciousness, you would have to return to work a correction. Those that decide, and that might also be possible because I've heard it, the possibility of not returning, but then you were in the last lifetime on a very low level of consciousness, and if you decide not to return, you will stay on that level, unchanging. You will remain unchanged on a low level of consciousness, because you didn't face the consequences of your actions, because you did not take responsibility. Returning to this world might be taking responsibility, and if you don't take that responsibility, you will not grow into true enlightenment. What is being sold now as the light is delusion. There's forgive, forgive, forgive. I am on a higher level of enlightenment. That is a delusion. As I said, the physical is the fruit of the spirit. And we will not experience a world that is going to hell because it has been created by beings on a high level of enlightenment. Again, cause and effect. A high level of enlightenment will not create hell. And if hell is starting to grow all around you, chances are you are doing something wrong. The light does not create darkness. And if darkness is all around you, it's not because you are enlightened. We must return to the law. We must see that the law is not given, and that is really the perception of a small child. Father is giving me all these laws because he's evil and he wants to suppress me. The law has been given to serve. It has been given to serve you. It should be your servant to keep you on the right path. It was not given to suppress you. It was given to serve you. And it is there for the benefit of all, and that is a grown-up perception of the law. Those that reject it are as children, and you shouldn't be. Time we grew up. Return to our Father's house. Return to the truth, and that means return to the law and respect the law. And it also means that if that is our truth within, it must show without. It must create without. We must become the image of the law and stand in that truth. And think, speak, and act according to it. Be severe. Be severity. If you come up against wrongdoing, then you have to be severity. You can start by offering forgiveness. You can start by offering help. But if that does not work, because it's not received, then you must become the severity of the law. And that is the only way that will save us. Return to our truth. Return to the law. And teach it to our children correctly. It is our sin, our iniquity that will show itself in the next generations. We are the ones that have done it to them, not some God holding strings. God gave you a law that should serve you, to keep you on the right path, and people have chosen to reject it, and that is the outcome. The beast, the lawless beast that has no truth within it. And our children are becoming the image of the beast. Anyway, here folks, I leave it at that for today. And I talk to you again soon. Bye.